Hey drummers, how's it going? It's Alex once again, bringing you some more fun-free drumming ideas. Got a bit of a cold on the go at the moment, so if I sound a bit different, that's the reason why. Just to get a few of the formalities out of the way, if you do go on to enjoy this video or find it useful, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And what we're going to do today is, like, in concept, it's quite simple. It's going to be really easy to explain what's going on. But in practice, a little bit tricky. What essentially we're going to do is just get like a solid pattern going on between the kick drum and the snare drum, which will be a nice simple boom, da, boom, boom, da. We're going to start by playing quarter notes on the hand, so the right hand landing on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. And then what we're going to do is we go through a little sequence of either sort of like 2 bars or 4 bars on each round. We're just going to shift the hi-hat note along 1/16th note. So we'll start off on the beat, then we're going to go to the E's, then the ands, and then the uds. And then you can sort of like mix up the sequence to sort of suit how frequently you want to go around each pattern. Ultimately, it's going to sort of teach us how to, up until now we've kind of just been playing like a single solid pattern on the hi-hat, like a nice ostinato on the hi-hat, and then sort of varying the pattern underneath for the kick drum and the snare drum. Whereas this kind of reverses that principle, and we'll be keeping the bass drum and the snare drum exactly the same, but then shifting around what we do with the hi-hat. And hopefully this can open up the doors to some lovely little ideas and patterns down in the future. So if you like what you saw in the intro and you want to give this one a crack, stick around and I'll break it down. Here we go. Alright, so as I explained in the intro, it's going to be really easy to go through. I'm not really worried about speed with this one, it's more sort of accuracy of the placement of your right hand, and then because that's going to be moving around a tiny bit, whereas your bass drum and snare drum pattern's going to be staying the same, it's going to be sort of falling sometimes in between like kick drums or landing with snare drums or bass drums or just before, just after. So mix it up a tiny bit just to help us sort of get a bit more comfortable with some of these little more obscure hi-hat patterns. So if we start with the first one, this is really basic. So quarter notes with the right hand, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is just to sort of set the scene, really. Okay, so I don't think we have to go for that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, obviously when you get to those 2 kicks, on beat 3, we've got 3 and, so we're playing that one bass drum independently from the right hand. When we get into a second round, and I find sort of shifting the hi-hat notes to the E's can be a little bit trickier. If we go really slow, it's going to be 1 E, 2 E, 3 E and, okay, because obviously we've got the bass drum on the 3 and the and, we're going to get this 3 E and then for beat 4, 4 E. So let's just route that round. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E and 4 E, 1 E, 2 E, 3 E and 4 E. Alright, so once we've gone from the E of each beat, we then move on to the and of each beat, and again this should feel quite familiar as well. It's sort of a natural place to progress from playing, on the note. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so the only time the hi-hat's actually going to link up with any other kick drum or snare drum is on the and of beat 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So just that little double bass drum, it's the second of the 2. Alright, so we've done on the numbers, we've done the 1, we've done the E, we've done the and now we've got to do the So that's going to sound a bit like this. So we're going to have this 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and Let's just speed it up a tiny bit. Alright, so when you're sort of playing these one by one, it's not particularly difficult. It's when you sort of slap on the metronome, set yourself a nice pulse, and then start trying to sync them all back to back. So if I try to do that nice and slow, so starting off with beat 1, I'll just do 2 bars around. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, and 4 E. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, and 4 E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then when we come back round again, because we're finishing on the of beat 4, we then got to do another hi-hat on beat 1 itself as we come back round to the beginning. So I'll just play it through one more time, but I won't say anything this time, and a little bit faster. Right, so that's the sequence. What I'll do a few rounds where I'm playing like 4 bars of each pattern, and then maybe I'll sort of like do a couple of rounds where I'll do 2 bars of each pattern, just so you can hear the transitions a little bit quicker. And I mean, when you're playing it quite slow, I find it sounds a little bit disjointed, and you know, probably where you're putting a bit more thought into the placement of each hi-hat. But when you start flowing with it a tiny bit more, one of those higher tempos, you can see how it does manipulate that groove, and it still flows, but it just gives it an interesting vibe. So yeah, here we go. I'll do it 3 different tempos, and then I'll sort of list how fast I'm playing it on the metronome underneath. Don't know how fast we're gonna go yet, so probably not too fast. I'm gonna shut up. Here we go. All right, it's 100 beats a minute. 2, 3, 4. Okay, 120. 1, 2, 3. All right, drummers, there it is. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to pop over to my website and download the sheet music completely for free. It's a pretty tricky little concept, especially when you get to those higher tempos, trying to sneak in those hi-hats just on the easy R's of each beat, but you will feel quite comfortable going from gat it or playing on the actual downbeat itself. But then when you can start mixing it up, so this will open the doors for us to explore this idea and then start bringing some slightly more complex pattern between the kick drum and snare drum. If you haven't checked out my website already, it's alexribchesterdrums.com. Go and look at the sponsorship programs. If you sign up for 1 month, there's a whole host of lessons which haven't been released on YouTube. I've put little clips up every now and again, and now's the best time, if any, because I've just uploaded sort of my 2 or 3 hour package, which is like the beginner's guide to learning how to play drums. So if you're brand new to playing drums and you're just sort of thinking, oh, I can get into it, I've seen some of the videos, you like the way I teach, go over there. It used to be like $50 back in the day, and now for 1 month you've got, for £5 you can go and check it out. And then there's all the other lessons as well, which, like I said, haven't been released on here. So I'm going to shut up, stop rambling, and bid you farewell. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Thursday or Friday, depends how it goes, with some more fun-free drumming ideas. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.